called Selfie. It's on NBC on Tuesdays.
Okay.
And then the last one looked interesting to me only because Katherine Heigl's in it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't premiere until November 17th. Did you... Grey's Anatomy? Are you a Grey's Anatomy fan?
I've seen lots of rom-coms that she's in. So...
Rom-coms.
Romantic comedies.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Like 27 Dresses?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. So she's in this show. It's making her grand return to television. People have been talking about it for like 6 months because she left Grey's Anatomy in such a like hostile state. It was her and Sandra, the creator, that were like fighting.
I've heard that about her on movie sets.
She's high maintenance.
Yeah, I've heard that. And so if I've heard that, who doesn't pay any attention to...
It must be true.
Maybe not necessarily true, but it's a big rumor, you know, at any rate. So
she's going to come back in a political drama, which will be interesting to see her play in a political drama. She plays a top CIA person who's tasked with one heck of a job. Put together a briefing for the president to assess the greatest threats to national security. And just in case that doesn't sound stressful enough, she spends what little free time she has hunting down the terrorists who killed her fiancé. That's a lot of layers.
So she's playing a pretty intense, dramatic... Badass. Right. That might be interesting to see.
So NBC, November 17th. We haven't missed that one.
Okay.
We're going to put a link on the Two Girls and a Bottle of Wine Facebook page of all the new shows, because there were like 20. And these were just the ones I was interested in. Mm-hmm. Thoughts? I feel like I talked a lot.
Well, and you know, I will catch up with these, you know, a few years when they're on Netflix, and I'll try and talk to people about them, and they're like, what is wrong with you?
That was so 2 years ago.
I know. That was so 2014. I'm like, well, for me, it's 2018.
I'll be here for you, Carrie.
Thank you. Thank you. I knew I could depend on somebody, too.
Yes.
Well, and Beth is the one who, she does the same thing, the Netflix and Prime, and so she tells me what to watch. And I'll tell her, okay, I'm like at the last episode. I send a text. I'm at the last episode. What do I watch now? Oh. Hurry. Tell me.
Are you in Orange is the New Black?
I watched Orange is the New Black.
First and second season?
Both, yeah.
Second season ending snuck up on me. Mm-hmm. Like, I get that it was pretty traumatic, but then the next night I went to go watch more, and I'm like, oh.
I had mixed feelings about the fact that they put all of second season up at the same time. You know,
right.
Because
we're not used to that.
Yeah, and I did watch it all. But then that's something that I do like about watching shows on Netflix. But there's shows that have already been out there. A lot of what I like to watch, I like a lot of stuff that probably is even current on Sci-Fi now. Mm-hmm. But they just move them fairly quickly to at least Prime. They may not move them to Netflix, but they move them to Prime. And I love those. Especially when they have some humor mixed in with the science stuff.
Right.
And I don't know who the actors are or anything. And they're usually not high. They're not. Right. They're B actors or below. Mm-hmm. And so I don't need to know who they are.
Right. If I didn't work for a DirecTV home service provider, I probably would not have cable. And I would be like you. Like, I'm very fortunate. I'm blessed. Because cable is crazy expensive.
It is. Yeah. Well, that's what I realized, too. So when I moved, I realized, you know, for years and years and years, I was paying for everything. I was paying for, and I could never pick anything. It's this total proliferation of choices. It's probably like online dating. How do you pick one?
How do you pick one?
Because there's so many, and you go through, and it's like, oh, that sounds good. But wait, what's on here? I got to see what's on here. You know, and I finally realized that I was just paying $270 a month for background noise.
Right.
And that's all it was. And so now I have just internet, and I have this ridiculous huge TV, and so I just stream stuff.
That's smart.
And I can do a whole marathon thing, which is, you know, when you go
through... It takes up a whole weekend.
Yeah, and when you go through a breakup, it's kind of what you want to do. It's just lay around and get lost.
Sad.
And get lost in watching some show. And yeah, so it's good.
So I like to eat, you like to eat, you posted about lunch. And that is how I feel every day. Is it lunchtime yet? Nope, it's only 9 o'clock. Is it lunchtime yet? Nope, it's only 10 o'clock. And so I'm constantly incorporating food into my podcast. Is it obnoxious? You listen?
No, I don't find it obnoxious. I love food.
I'm always trying to find like a loophole, like someone to say, it's okay to eat sugar at every meal of the day. But no one says that.
Mm-hmm.
But I did find a list of foods that doctors consider to be poison. And when you use the word poison, that's intense.
I still balance it, but...
It is. Life is all about balance.
Absolutely.
So, do you want to help me go through this list real quick?
Absolutely. So, of course, the first poison is trans fat. Trans fat I do try and keep out. And trans fat is interesting and it sneaks in. See, people will buy, I talk a lot about cookies and stuff like that, but I follow a pretty much an 80-20 sort of rule. Not when I quit smoking, I didn't. When I quit smoking, I ate whatever was there because it tasted really good.
Right. All of a sudden your taste buds were
like, I know. I'm
Hi.
like, I had no idea that bacon and cupcakes tasted this good. But and I do try and do most of my shopping on the periphery.
Mm-hmm. That's smart.
Well, people buy like the low-fat cookies and the low-fat crackers and the low-fat this. They do replace it with sugar, but they replace it with trans fat. Mm-hmm. They replace it, so you get a lot of trans fat. So you're not eating healthy. You may be cutting down on some calories, but very minimal. Right. So you're better off if you must have potato chip. Just go ahead and eat the regular potato chips. It's going to satisfy you. Just don't eat them every single day. But those sneak in. The trans fat absolutely sneak in. And they're harder to find sometimes on the label. They're labeled with so many different things. So they're challenging. And you think, oh, yeah, I'm getting these healthy cookies. No, they're not healthy cookies.
There's no healthy cookies.
Yeah.
There's not.
I mean, homemade healthy. I talk about cookies.
With like banana and applesauce.
Yeah, I made banana and applesauce and oats and throw in some dark chocolate and some coconut. And yeah, they're good and healthy. You're getting some fiber and I can fool my kids and they think they're getting yummy cookies.
I can fool my mouth for a little bit until my brain kicks in. Mm-hmm. Another thing that's poison is saturated fat. Unlike trans fat, which is created artificially, saturated fat occurs naturally, but that doesn't mean it's good for you. Saturated fat ages your arteries by causing inflammation that augments the buildup of fatty tissue on your inner lining. That just sounds gross.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah.
Balance.
Again.
Balance.
And then...
This one is a struggle for me.
It is.
I like sugar.
Sugar is, pretty
like
amazing.
Candy
corn season.
I probably don't buy too many groceries that have, because if it's in my house, that's way too tempting. And, now that I'm trying to get back into my smaller clothes that I wore before I quit smoking and I'm running, I don't need those triggers because sugar is going to be the biggest trigger for me. So I don't buy them at the grocery store. And because I don't buy them at the grocery store and I'm kind of too lazy to just go out all the time looking for sugary stuff. I do occasionally, and I make it good. Mm-hmm. So if I want a piece of cheesecake, I'm going to eat a piece of cheesecake. I'm just not going to eat a piece of cheesecake every single day.
Right.
So I make it good. I make it last. I make it something that's really yummy and totally worth it. But I really like sugar.
Sugar is my vice.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I quit smoking, it's been my vice. Sugar. Mm-hmm. Another thing that is poison, I hate that word, but it's true, is syrups. We all know the man-made high fructose corn syrup is a serious nutritional no-no that increases the risk of obesity and the metabolic. Dear Lord, I'm tired. Metabolic syndrome. But at the end of the day, a sugar is a sugar is a sugar, which means that all syrups, corn, maple, malt, and others are as bad for you as the other added sugars discussed previously. So syrups are bad.
Yeah. I do this really well. Anything less than 100% whole grain. I've
gotten better.
I use a lot of whole grain. I buy a lot of whole grain cereal. I use whole grain bread. Pasta. Usually I'll do whole grain. There's a couple of dishes that I make that I buy the regular pasta because I'm sorry, it does not taste as good.
Have you tried tofu pasta?
I'm not a fan.
Oh.
No. But I do try and experiment here and there and find some healthy, whatever healthy alternatives I can find to things that are healthy. I don't diet. I've told you this before, and I'm pretty open about this. I'm a recovered bulimic, and I don't diet. I don't count calories. I try and just follow an 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time, I'm trying to eat nutritionally sound. It may not be low calories, but
Right.
it's pretty nutritionally sound. And then the other 20%, I have room for wine and, cupcake or a voodoo donut or,
Bacon.
bacon. Actually, it's really funny. So I talk about cookies, I talk about vodka, I talk about bacon. I haven't had bacon in a very long time. Every now and then I will go up to our cafeteria and I'll get like an egg cheddar and, I'll have them just make me an egg cheddar and bacon English muffin. Every now and then. I never buy it. I never cook it. I
Bacon's
love
hard to
it.
cook.
I do love it, actually. I absolutely love bacon, but
bad
I'm
for
lazy. Laziness keeps me from a lot of things. And cookies, I pretty much eat healthy cookies for the most part. There are these red velvet cookies that you can buy at Target that are so good, and they have the
Amazing.
cream stuff
Yes.
inside, and it's so good.
That's
And
evil.
I buy those sometimes. And vodka, I'm the cheapest date on the planet.
Have you had red velvet vodka?
I have.
That's amazing. What do you mix it with? Sprite Zero?
I put a lot of stuff, so a lot of times I can't figure out. So I'll have some vodka in my house, like a flavored vodka somebody gave me, and I can't figure out. Okay, I want some of this, but I don't know what to mix it with, and so a lot of them get mixed with my chocolate soy milk,
Oh, that's fine.
and it actually works well.
Everything mixes well with chocolate soy milk. That's a great
Not
way.
fruity vodkas, that is for sure.
Ew.
I
Unless
was
it's cherry, because then you have like cherry chocolate.
Ooh, yeah.
You should try that and let me know how that
Good.
goes.
That would be so good.
Vodka makes me a little too crazy.
Yeah, I'm just not a drinker. I'm really not. I'm not
Says
a
the girl
drinker.
on Two Girls and a Bottle of Wine.
I know. I'm really.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, a glass of wine. I
Right.
can do very, very well.
80-20, moderation.
Absolutely,
Everything in
absolutely.
moderation.
But I have something funny to tell you. When I first read this and it was the food thing, I was like, she's trying to tell me I'm fat.
Are you crazy?
No, there were like 3 different things today that happened. I was like, oh, I'm going through PMS. PMS has started, which is screwing me up because it's starting earlier. So it was this. She's trying to tell me I'm fat.
Oh my God.
And then the traffic nightmare getting here. I mean, normally I get here in a half an hour, and it was like an hour and 10 minutes. And, it was crazy. And I'm like, I almost flipped somebody off. I didn't. I restrained myself
Good
because
job.
she looked bigger than me. She probably could have kicked me. She probably could have seriously done damage. And her car was bigger, and so that told me, and there was something else I don't remember. Oh yeah, that I was thinking about. Seriously, it's like 9:00 in the morning. I'm like, can I have lunch yet?
I did the same thing
I
today.
want lunch, and if I would have brought lunch, I'd have ate my lunch.
No, I've learned, because I do bring my lunch and my breakfast and my snacks, and I put them away. Like, they cannot be in my office.
Yeah, I would still go find them and eat, and so those things they told me. Okay, yeah, PMS.
PMSing.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, as always.
And we can find you on Carrie, Carrie, onlife.com. Online, your blog.
And subscribe. Then you
Yes.
don't have to keep coming back when you're going to write some more stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're hilarious. And we'll have you back again in November.
That sounds fantastic.
Crazy. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank